Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today we're taking a look at the Machete, a very overstable driver from Discraft. Now, as always, if you haven't already, please subscribe, hit that like button, and the notification bell. That way you're notified whenever there's any new content. So for the Machete, I could very easily just say, it's overstable, and leave it at that, because it is very overstable. But that wouldn't be doing the Machete any justice. It is a great utility disc. It is also a top-notch wind fighter, but don't expect a lot of distance out of it, even though it says it is a speed 11. The Machete is also a very flat disc, so it makes it very comfortable when trying to throw forehand, and also when you try those overhand, either thumber or tomahawks, it makes it feel real comfortable for those. And also because it has a really low rim depth as well as that flatness on the flight plate, it is also going to have a very shallow feel to it. So when you get out to the field and actually throw it, you can just see how overstable this is. The moment it leaves the hand, it wants to do nothing but hyzer. It doesn't want to try to flip up to flat or anything like that. It just holds the hyzer line the entire way. Same thing when thrown flat. A little smidge, you can see kind of held straight for a little bit, but again, it just wants to kind of hyzer out. This was actually thrown on more of a little bit of an Annie shot than flat, but you can see it just righted itself and hyzered right away. Now, I think flex and anhyzer is actually where the Machete is perfect, particularly for forehands. Say you're in the woods and you have this shot like something like this, but maybe with more trees. You have to get around and know that it's going to come back. You can put it on steep anhyzer lines. It's going to go maybe 100, 150 feet before it'll flatten out and then hyzer. So perfect for those tight quarter wooded shots. And besides just being an overstable wind fighter, it has great additional utility as either a thumber or a tomahawk. It feels extremely comfortable in the hand being a speed 11, and you know exactly what it's going to do. Now let's go ahead and take a look at what much bigger arms than myself can do with the Machete. Huge shout out to Lance here for showing us how to throw the Machete on a thumber two different ways. You can get it to go to the left if you keep it low if you're throwing right hand, but if you give it a little bit more height, it will give it enough time to pan out and fall back to the right, again, giving great versatility. And from across the pond, Henri from Discraft Underground throws a perfect hyzer shot, absolutely parking the basket, probably a good 350 feet away. Lastly, Nathan Cameron from the Oklahyzer YouTube channel. If you haven't seen his stuff, absolutely go check him out. I'll put a link at the end of the video showing us how to throw a power forehand with the Machete. Even when thrown flat, slight anhyzer, it still rides straight, a little bit of turn dancing there, but it still wants nothing to do with turning over and hyzers on out. So the Machete does come in quite a few different plastic types, giving you a different feel as well as different levels of stability between the plastics. The most overstable by far is the Z Flex Machete. I can barely get this to go anywhere. In fact, on all these shots, you're seeing me throwing it on these extreme anhyzer angles, and the moment it's released, it's flipping up to flat and already hyzering out. Players with slower arms should not be throwing this disc unless it's for pure utility. The ESP Machete, however, is a little bit straighter, a little more workable. It's kind of my favorite choice just because I can get it to hold a nice turn for a little bit when thrown on a slight Annie before hyzering out. Now let's take a look at the Big Z versus the Z Flex side by side. The Z Flex, I have to put it on a much steeper angle, but they do have similar lines. The major difference between these is the distance. The Big Z is holding a little bit longer than the Z Flex. Z Flex just wants to get to the ground, whereas the Big Z, you know what, it maybe goes about 10, 15 feet further. But the benefit of the Z Flex is where it hits, it sticks. If you haven't tried out the Machete, I suggest taking a look. It's great utility for slower arms, but is a great wind fighter for bigger arms. It is definitely the big brother to the Raptor for a reason. Thank you all so much for watching. Until next time, keep banging them chains.